Same. I'm looking. It is. Looking down at the 101 right now, especially the southbound side of the 101, starting to see a real jam up as I presume folks are just trying to get away and use the 101 as the main artery out of here. Makes a lot of sense, obviously, but it is seeing a lot of slow traffic through here. As I do that, I'm also looking just to the north of us here and just trying to figure out, because there are so many active situations here between these two neighborhoods, fire approaching both of these neighborhoods. I've got to tell you, in some cases, you can already see where the brush clearance behind some of these homes has already spared the homes. If the brush clearance wasn't there, if they hadn't cleared the area around their property and their backyards, they would already be on fire. But some of these fires that are not jumping or spotting are kind of running into dead ends. They're running out of fuel once they get to the brush clearance, and those houses could be saved because of that brush clearance. That brush clearance buys time for those homeowners and for the fire department to get there, get the structure protection in place, even in a wind-driven fire where it's so easy to jump over a fire break or a road, or even if you've done the proper brush clearance, the wind could easily jump it, but you're still buying time. You're giving yourself every chance, and we're seeing the benefit of some of that brush clearance right here. You're seeing some of the clearance where you can see the fire kind of running up and then just kind of running out of fuel in some cases. It's really illustrative of the benefit of that brush clearance, but in other cases, that's not the case. And already, as I look out the right here, Rob, I'm not sure if you're looking in the same direction. There's a whole line of flames, again, coming close to another group of homes. What street is that? That's going to be Ardmore Road. Fire, a line of fire running up right towards Adamar Road. It looks like there's some degree of brush clearance, but there's also a lot of trees, and again, lots of opportunity for those embers to blow through here. But Adamore Road, right here, fire right along the backyards of these houses. What's the cross street there? Adamore Road and Thousand Oaks Boulevard, or Eden Park Drive. Eden Park Drive between Adamore Road and Thousand Oaks Boulevard. Thousand Oaks Boulevard is the main street that runs through this neighborhood, and there is fire in this community that is brushing right up against these homes. Absolutely, and there's a lot of it. We've already seen a couple of tanker drops here and repeated drops by LA City Fire, Ventura County Fire, and it's real. You've got to imagine what they're dealing with the number of helicopters they have, and they do have a lot at their disposal, but as we've been repeating, resources are stretched thin, and you've got artillery across the county. LA County has resources now in you know, the valley. You've got the Palisades. You've got the Eaton fire that's being worked on. There are so many active areas, but they are bringing new aircraft into this situation, trying to smother it. But the concern here, my worry, is that there's so much fire blowing in a number of different areas now that it's almost like, you know, we use the term whack-a-mole, but even these drops, it takes just to get one head of the fire, you know, knocked down, takes repeated drops just to get one head. I count at least 3 separate areas that are really under immediate threat, and those are going to take many, many water drops. Look at those palm trees, David. Look at the breeze. Look at the breeze running through this neighborhood. Look at those palm fronds. It gives you a sense of just how windy it is down there. The winds have certainly picked up in the last couple of hours, just as Danny was talking about. And now you see it looks like an off-duty unit going house to house here, trying to get the word out in this neighborhood. Looks like an off-duty, you know, he's on duty now, but that's a private vehicle. He's probably using his personal vehicle to start going house by house in the neighborhood here and start door knocking to get folks out. This is all Shady Grove Place that we're watching as this deputy, it looks like a deputy, but from my vantage point, looks like a deputy uniform walking through this neighborhood. Yep, that's the, what was that, the County Hawk? I'm sorry, that's a Colson. That's a quick reaction force. The quick reaction force now jumping into action here as that Sikorsky just dropped a couple thousand gallons of water on that hotspot just behind that very large home at the end of Collette Way. This is Collette Way at the cul-de-sac, and you can see all of these homes here where the fire is literally feet away, just feet away from these homes. Yeah. Well, they've been. Yes, you're right. It's certainly moving. The forward progress has certainly not slowed down, but they have certainly jumped into action to make every effort to see hotspots, identify the properties, identify the homes, specific addresses that are under immediate threat, specific cul-de-sacs, specific edges of this neighborhood that are under immediate threat, and prioritize those areas with those water drops. If they do that effectively, they could hold this off and prevent a lot of damage, obviously, and that's the goal here, right, is to protect this property at all costs. But you can see the precarious situation because there is fire in the midst of the neighborhood. It's a very lush neighborhood that we're talking about. There are lots of trees and lots of palm trees at that are the real threat here once this fire penetrates the neighborhood. Go over to a little bit over to the left, a little over to the left. Right behind us, right over there. Okay, copy that. At this point, from what we could see, no homes touched. However, what we can't see is below the smoke. I don't know if there's any touch, but from what we could tell, from what we could physically see, we don't see actual structures burning at this point. You can see a lot of firefighting efforts already. They are already spraying down the area around this road here. We're going to tilt up to the neighboring neighborhood just to the west of here, and you can see more fire approaching that line of homes over there. This is going to be Elysia Canyon Drive, where you see a lot of thick smoke, which is concerning because where there's smoke, there's fire. And you can see right there in the backyard, looks like an apartment building with a little bit of fire right behind the building. More emergency alerts going out. I apologize for the audio dropouts, but you can see an apartment building right there. There is some brush clearance, some open space that is preventing that hotspot from moving towards that building. Again, another illustration of why brush clearance is so important. It's actually keeping the fire at bay, and right now the wind has not driven the fire into that building, but there's an apartment building right there where there is fire just a few feet away. This is all, again, at the end of Elysia Canyon Road, Farm Field Road, the same neighborhood we've been watching here has fire on the doorstep, but so far no structures that we have seen on fire. Copy. Right below us. Let's hold this. Are those houses or apartments? That's right. We're taking a look at the neighborhood, actually at the end of Ruthwood Drive, Colleen. There are now new flames approaching this group of homes and apartments right here at the end of Ruthwood Drive as this fire continues to spot and make its way through this neighborhood. A welcome sight right there as that tanker has spotted those flames and will likely be doing a drop here in not too long. There are a number of helicopters trying to cover as much ground as possible and drop as much water on the homes and the area around these homes that are under immediate threat. And there are a number of different parts of this neighborhood that are under the gun at the same time. So they're really fighting multiple fires at the same time. This is called the Kenneth fire. The only last report that we have was 50 acres, but we can comfortably report that this is quadrupled, if not more, in size, and this has taken on a whole different dynamic as multiple neighborhoods are under threat and multiple fires have developed ahead of where this fire originated. You're taking a look at a helispot right there. These Firehawks and firefighting helicopters are dipping in only about a couple miles away to make these repeated water drops in very rapid succession, one after another, after they identify these large bodies of flame approaching these neighborhoods. Again, continuing to focus on the area just to the west of Hidden Hills in the Malibu Canyon area. This is going to be North Upper Las Virgenes Road, where you see more flames, active flames, just off of Collette Way and Wellesley Drive. You can see flames no more than 50 to 100 feet away from these homes. But so far, The good news, the best news that we can report is that so far we have not actually seen actually any structures catch on fire, but there's a mandatory evacuation order for this neighborhood. Bill, flare up over there. That's the one you're looking at. Okay, that's Ruth Woodruff, same area. Okay, very good. It's also not thick fuel. It's like grassy almost, right? How close is that head? Tilt down, right there, 100, yeah, about 100 feet. Yep, yep. Keep the homes in the frame. Sorry, one more time. Yes. Oh yeah. Copy that. Yep. What do you want to go with? There you go. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Los Virgenes Road. He's talking about evacuations. Yep. 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 For sure. Yeah, that's the best shot for sure. Is it tilt down a little over to the left a little bit? There you go. Copy, copy. That's right, Colleen. The Kenneth fire is still burning, and the fire department is continuing their aerial assault on this fire, which has created multiple spot fires in and around the neighborhood of Upper Las Virgenes and Malibu Canyon, north of the 101 freeway, where Tim Caputo is right here. You're looking at Ruthwood Drive, which has a whole stretch of homes right here, and apartments on the other side, just off of Las Virgenes Road and Thousand Oaks Boulevard, where the closest flames are now within feet of these structures. But here's the good news. A lot has happened in the last few minutes. That aerial assault has been really, really effective, and they have knocked down a bulk of the most threatening parts of this fire, despite the winds that have really picked up and is whipping the smoke through this neighborhood. The leading edges of these fires have been extinguished to some extent, but there is still active flame. But here's the other thing. The wind is also shifting a little bit over to the west, a little further to the west and less to the southwest. And so now it's pushing it up this ridgeline towards Las Virgenes Road, but almost around this neighborhood, which is surrounded by grass. So what was earlier a pretty medium-fueled fire has turned into more of a grass fire in the immediate land around these homes. And that grass fire is not spreading nearly as rapidly as this fire was in the initial phase when it started in the West Hills area. So we've moved a little bit further to the southwest. The winds have shifted a little further to the west, and this neighborhood is now looking like it's in a much better position than it was even 15 minutes ago. So some good news there. However, this is not to be taken lightly. There is a lot of active fire, and these folks are heeding the warnings. As you can see, the 101 freeway is seeing a fair amount of evacuation activity, both on Las Virgenes and on the 101 freeway. We're seeing a lot of traffic start to stack up in both directions, and a lot of folks making their way out of this neighborhood. There is fire in the neighborhood. There is active flame and a lot of smoke. But what there is not so far are any structures that have actually caught on fire. And we have to breathe a huge sigh of relief there, but not let our guard down, because this is still a very active firefight. As you can see, that Chinook continuing these water drops in this neighborhood, guys. Where are you looking? Oh, over there? Yeah, yeah. I thought so too. On the south side? Thank you for that. We got some flames over here off the front right. It's got some distance, but still. Yeah, it's a little something, something. Welcome back, bro. Welcome back. Sure. Yeah, several hundred acres going up in flames here. The good news is, guys, this has mostly been a medium to light fueled fire. And while the wind was really whipping this fire in the early stages, they've done a remarkable job tackling the main bodies of flame. And now you can see it continuing to spread through the hills here, but slightly in a different direction, away from the main area of concern that we've been so focused on for the last hour and a half. And that is giving a little bit of a sigh of relief to the folks in this neighborhood, but certainly still keeping a close eye on this Kenneth fire, which is still, as you can see in this shot right here, exhibiting really active grass fire flames just feet away from these properties. So they're keeping a close eye on it. There is structure protection in place. In almost every block you see fire trucks or some form of structure protection, and the water drops are continuing. That is the end of Ruthwood Drive, where you can see a whole lot of folks, or a whole lot of firefighters, I should say, lining that block, making sure none of these properties catch fire. If you go ahead and pan over to the right there, you can see a lot of flames off into the distance from these homes, just off the nose here, where you can see a little bit of a flare-up. But again, this is all barren hillsides here in the hills of Upper Las Virgenes, guys. Yeah, it's definitely a combination. You got a lot of smoke, you got folks wondering what's going on, and then you've got a lot of folks getting on the freeway at the same time, because I've got to tell you, this neighborhood is emptying out. I mean, you can tell that folks are heeding the warning, and you know, it's all covered in smoke. So I think about there's the off ramp right there. It's actually closed. They're shutting down the off ramp, but only allowing people out of the community and then onto the freeway. So that's also causing a little bit of a bottleneck as well. But you know, in the moments that these evacuation orders are issued, the you know, you kick into gear, you pack your bags, you get in the car, and then it's oftentimes a little bit of pandemonium, because there's so much smoke. It's like driving through a fog as you're trying. Yep, if you can hear me, yep, another. Yeah. Okay. Who texted us? What's that 818 number? Who is? Ask who it is.